So do you want to go over some of the flags that we're going to be seeing in this open round?
Yeah, it's this basic Swiss flags that we're starting with. Both players will start with the Kingdahl, and they will have standard starting attack stats, life stats, and random magic stats. Right off the bat, both players find Mido. It's a town where if you can get the down stab tech really early on, a really useful tech if you have the jump or fairy spell.
Yeah, those are going to be the 3 spells that our racers are going to be looking for anybody who's unfamiliar with Zelda 2 Randomizer. They're going to be looking for Fairy, Reflect, and Thunder. Everything else are good to have. Pardon, go ahead.
Kingdahl just killed a red Dyra there, taking 200 experience, while Enchantress of Numbers went and grabbed the first magic jar of the race.
Yeah, it looks like they got some good Dyras to compete with today.
Kingdahl is pretty good at fighting. I've seen him kill a few things pretty well, so let's see how well EON holds up to that.
And Eon, go ahead and finds the medicine cave as well. Just finding all the good caves right now.
Yeah, really good at exploring so far. While Kingdahl is looking for encounters to increase his level.
Yeah, both are fine strats. You can find some enemies in these caves, but there's no shame in finding early P-Bags or fighting early Dyras to get fast levels going. And sure enough, here's another Dyra for Eon. So
takes an early death, but he's still got 2 more, so it shouldn't be a problem to get the item for Enchantress of Numbers.
Kingdahl finds Palace 5. I don't know if Eon stepped in there earlier, but Eon does find the cross.
On the ease, but it's not so useful right now. The cross will allow you to see invisible enemies in the game, but there aren't any visible enemies on the western continent where they are located.
Kingdahl looks like he's heading his way to another palace. We'll see which zone that one is.
And Kingdahl takes attack 3. While EON is still only at attack 1 right now. So that early fighting could give him an edge in getting ahead quickly.
Oh, he jumps past the palace and goes straight into Death Mountain, which is completely blocked off.
One less thing to worry about.
Yeah, for the time being. So the backside of Jump Cave. Nope, sorry. The backside of Fairy
and
Cave.
And EON finds Palace too.
Jam wants me to welcome everybody to the Thunderdome! Sorry. Had to please the fans. Eon finds that same backside.
So they're about to enter the same cave right now.
Got a sync going, and it's going to be the Magic Jar Cave.
Ooh, the boots.
That is a nice early find.
Well, that's always a handy pickup early in the game.
Not the handiest. I think Eon's debating on what she wants to do next here. Whether to up A and start over or continue on the path of exploration.
It could be that EON is everywhere at town. EON stops just for a few seconds. It's good to take notes.
Oh, absolutely.
But it does cost some time.
Yeah, but it can save you a lot of time if you accidentally misplace a palace. And speaking of palaces, Kingdahl finds the Great Palace here on the west. We'll see if Eon jumps in there
Which
too.
means Death Valley will house one of the other regular 6.
Kingdahl takes a death there from a Dyra's hammer, or axe rather. Yeah, we definitely see different playstyles from these two. Kingdahl with the approach of killing everything to get the early levels, and Eon with the heavy exploration.
Now, if I were these players, I'd probably refill my life, even if it cost me an extra 10 seconds to walk to the left here, but we'll see what they do. So both opting not to refill their life and continue on to get the next spell. Which coincidentally is the fairy spell. Very handy early spell to get. And they can use it at only 60 MP. Very cheap. And Kingdahl immediately resets back to start to get the down stab.
Yeah, I think Eon's heading the same way, just with the walking path instead of the up A. Or maybe she decided.
Has Kingdahl found the boots yet?
Yeah, they both got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has.
He hasn't found the cross. He never made it into the medicine cave. So these guys are still looking for that raft, the elusive raft here on the west coast.
Yeah, interesting water tile on the left for Enchantress Number to find the river path there. This could be Rauru. If it is, it's an extra spell.
Yeah, these guys are really putting those boots to early use, getting on that water to avoid any encounters. And sure enough, you were right, it's Rauru.
Now personally, I'm always really happy to get jump early on in the race, because you can pick up a lot of experience bags on the east, and there's a few extra things it can do for you. But seeing as they already have the castable fairy, they might want something else, such as, let's see here, Thunder or Reflect. They get shield.
Yeah, we ended up with shield here. Alright, I apologize right now for any stuttering on stream. I'm going to turn off my alerts real quickly, I'm sorry.
Yuen's still at attack 1 right now, looking for that attack level with the P-Bag.
Sorry about that, everybody. Forgot to click studio mode.
Which surprises me, he might have accidentally cancelled his level instead of taking the attack. Usually you take the attack before cancelling to go for life 4.
Yeah, and Eon finds the kid here in Heart Cave. So that's one less thing she'll be looking for if they come down to a required spell that they can't find.
So I believe there's 2 item caves they haven't seen yet, which is the Medicine Cave and the pea bag cave.
Eon found the medicine cave,
This could be
so all
one
we're
of
missing
them.
is a pea bag. Because we got Trophy Cave early, if I'm remembering that correctly. That was a jar. Then we got
We've
Medicine
seen
Cave, which was a
Trophy
cross. And Heart Cave was to Child. So yeah, I think the pea bag cave is behind that rock right there. And they found everything else. Other than Death Mountain, of course, which we'll see if these players decide to venture in there.
Yeah, there's one more cave left to check here, maybe a few more, but... So the boulder is blocking one of the item caves.
Yeah.
So checking a few caves here for hammer should be the next step that they go for.
And I've only seen two of the
Otherwise, they're gonna have to
palaces.
start diving into palaces.
Yeah, speaking of, I've only seen two. I saw Palace 5 and the Great Palace. Which, the Great Palace isn't going to yield anything.
And neither player really wants to set foot into 5, so they're both gonna look for, I guess, the hammer cave, or at least the EnchantressofNumbers is.
Yeah, or that other palace to see. If it's Palace 1, they have Fairy Spell. So they do have access.
So it could be up here in the corner of the map.
So Kingdahl never found the water path around the side. Instead, he's going to take Parappa Pass to get through. Or is he coming out Heart Cave? I'm sorry. He had no enemies, so yeah, he came out Heart Cave just now. Ian's off looking for a palace, I would assume. Kingdahl's weighing his options meanwhile. See what he does when he finds Death Mountain. So it appears that the palaces on the west are 2 and 5 in the Great Palace, and so Eon jumps right into 2.
If 2 houses an important item, the item will not be blocked. However, if the item is blocked, then the item that they're going to have to look for is either in 5 or Death Mountain.
Yeah, neither one of
Going
those
down, there's
sound,
about a 30% chance of finding the boss.
neither one of those sound like a good option to go into Death Mountain or 5. So it looks like Eon's catching up on those levels.
strange that Eon still hasn't gone back to Mayo to pick up the down stab. It was right next to start.
Yeah, that does surprise me as well.
We'll see how that plays into this.
It's very beneficial here. In any palace, really. Once you get to a blue iron knuckle, they can be very difficult to pass without down stab. Heck is right. That is a heck of a run. Oh wow, and look at these drippers.
However, they only do take one hit to kill the enemy in front of them, and you get a lot of experience quickly.
Yeah, it's nice when they're dropping the blue iron knuckles or even the reds that are 200 XP. You can really farm that up quickly.
And when we meet the first block,
Yeah, immediately obeys. Kingdahl, meanwhile, made his way into the medicine cave and grabbed his cross, so that's going to be helpful when he gets over to the east. Now, I didn't see the cost for fairy spell, but it looks like they're going to be using it liberally, so...
it was about 60 right now.
Oof, that's rough.
Right, so about 4 magic bars. So there are no important items to find in Palace 2 for now. So Enchantress can clear it and move on and look for an item in a different location. Either Palace 5 or Death Mountain.
Yeah, and I'd just like to point out, 500 XP for Helmet Head there. I think that's his max. So, easy to get to attack 4 there. I think this 4-2-3 is a great leveling.
With Shield and Fairy, actually Palace 5 might be doable. So it won't be the worst decision of enemies, so you can get into attack 5 before you find Guma.
Yeah, I just hope that she swings by Mido first and picks up the down stab before venturing into 5. So now it's Kingdahl's turn. while Eon makes her way into Palace 5, so we'll see how this one plays out. Yeah.
Palace 5, most players avoid it because it is the longest palace and has the most dead ends in it, next to Great Palace, but...
Yeah, but Eon doesn't shy away from anything that could cause great harm. I mean, if you watched her at GDQ run reverse Tetris Grandmasters, that's just painful alone. Having some frame drops here on Eon's end. Seems to be balanced out now, so.
Did Eon grab the key in that room, or did Eon die before getting the key?
I didn't see. Was it the fairy room? Yeah, I dropped some frames there.
Key rooms.
Oh, I have to assume she died and turned around immediately.
Because this is one of the longest palaces in the game, you want to have a few extra keys or have access to multiple fairy spells here, or you will run out of lives before reaching Guma.
Yeah.
You don't want to reach Guma without any magic and on your last life. Especially at life 3, he can one-shot you.
There's a few hidden jars in this palace, but I believe they're few and far between actually. 4 of them in total. One of them being in the item room itself, but you need jump in order to get to it. So yeah, these extra keys are really going to pay off. I don't know if she's going to step into Guma's room at attack 4 or just map out where he is and come back later. Palace 5 is pretty close to start.
If he's on the way, you might as well at least take an attempt at him, but we'll see.
Yeah, you never know, because with this randomizer, the bosses have a shuffled XP too. Or shuffle HP. So you could get lucky and get a very weak Guma too. I know, I'm talking crazy talk. You never get a weak Guma. One can hope. She decides not to wait for these falling blocks to get that extra key. Not worth the time.
So it's quite a risk to go for, and there is extra keys in the dungeon. But that is unfortunate finding that dead end key. Seeing as you have to go all the way back now.
Yeah,
we'll see how many rooms.
Nice jar drop though. So I'd say both these players are having a pretty rough time of it. Eon more so than Kingdahl, purely because he has the downstab. But they're both just running into dead ends left and right.
This room that Eon's in right now is one of those rooms with the jar. It's hidden in one of the blocks right above him right now. But unfortunately, he took the death in the previous room, so now we cannot make use of the jar.
Here's another extra key here if the flying enemies are kind. Oh, maybe I miscounted the spare jars. I forgot about this room. Yeah, this room is not fun without downstab. Get these narrow passageways. But she handles it like a champ. Nice jump.
The last gun's taken. The chance to find the item is getting pretty close now. There's only I think one more dead end left that Eon has not found.
Wow. That was a very deep buried glove.
I'm about 15-20 seconds behind you, so I'm just gonna refresh and catch up.
Alright, sounds good. Let me know if that doesn't work.
Eon is probably really happy with that pickup.
Yeah, and so happy in fact that she goes immediately into Mido and picks up the downstab spell, or technique.
Oh, it's still doubling down the palace too.
Well, with the glove in hand, she still needs to get that raft. So, Palace 2, which you know is
Death
Glove
Mountain
Block,
is the end.
or yeah, Death Mountain.
One of the two.
Yeah, we'll see how well she mapped out Palace 2 when she was here earlier. If she can beeline straight to that item room, it won't be the worst thing in the world. Looks like she might be suffering.
I'm just remembering that
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes when you pick up the down stab, you kind of forget you just got it until after you get hit.
Or when you're jumping in the air trying to low stab somebody and you see your sword come down, you're like, oh yeah, I did that.
Oh yeah, I picked that up.
Yeah, it looks like she may be on the correct path to get straight to that glove block room. Meanwhile, we'll see if Kingdahl is
It may
taking...
take a few decks to remind DON that he has the down stab.
Yeah, I don't know why she's not using on these blue iron knuckles. I mean, it's...
It could just be nerves of the race right now, but
Possibly. And here's the glove block, so yeah, we're 2 or so rooms away from the item. That's a tough decision to make.
this room is pretty dangerous, but I believe Eon has enough for Fairy. It's just barely enough.
I think
No,
what she's
actually,
debating is getting
Yeah,
the key.
58. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's especially dangerous when you actually have...
You do not want to kill the Moo and fall through into the lava.
Exactly. But yielding 2 extra keys in this route. Oh, 3 extra keys if she can pick up this one on the bridge.
But Eon has to be careful not to die here.
Yeah, last life. Looks like she's gonna make her way past.
No, having a difficult time with the Moas mixed with the Blue Knight here.
I thought she was going to try to get past the Blue Knight, but she just decides to ferry over and right into the item room.
there's a pretty good chance that the raft will allow Eon to continue on with the game.
Oh god!
Oh, the hammer.
Why do you do this to us, game?
Boulder block caves were to the north, so wouldn't be surprising if Eon runs straight up there, but...
Yeah, the options are to head up there or to dive into Death Mountain at this point.
Kingdahl seems to have taken a different route through Palace 5 and might be finding the boss sooner than he expected.
Yeah, but he's got attack 5, so this isn't a terrible play. Oh, never mind, he decides to up A and start over. It's not a terrible play at his
He might be on his last life, so yeah, he was stuck regardless. So that could be the route to the boss, but unfortunately he will have to go another way for the item.
Apparently the boss is right next to the start of the dungeon. You take that very first right down the elevator, there was Goomba. So Eon finds the water of life, or medicine, in the P-Bag cave that was rock blocked, which means off to Death Mountain we go. Just gonna swing by Mido first and pick up the.
You can get 2 items pretty easily, so
yeah, especially with the hammer,
very long.
Hammer in hand, yeah. You're going to be diving through a lot of caves. You very well may come across Spectacle Rock.
Did that Goomba just give only 200 experience?
I guess so. I thought he just walked out, but apparently... yeah, just 200 experience from that Goomba. So we have max XP from Helmet Head and minimum XP from Goomba. And I looked away from Eon just now, but what spell did she pick up from Mido? If anybody caught it. Otherwise, I'll just watch.
No, I was watching Kingdahl, but we'll find out in just a second here.
Yeah. But she's come to the conclusion that it's definitely Death Mountain time. Just gotta remember where he left it. Alright, so it was fire in Mido. We'll find out what that's connected to. If it's Thunder or Reflect, that's one less spell they actually have to go find. There we go, back into Death Mountain.
Diving into the first cave that she finds.
Yeah, this is probably one of the hardest parts about the randomizer is mapping out Death Mountain with all these randomized caves. It is nice that both these players have the boots, so they'll be able to get around this whole open area over here.
We have not seen the rock yet, so that's gonna have one of the items they probably want.
So what other item would you want to see here if you were these racers? Of course we're going to find a raft, it's guaranteed at this point, but...
So So have they found all three spell items, the child, the trophy, and the medicine of life?
No, they're still missing the trophy.
Right, that would be one of the good items that you'd want to find. Otherwise, maybe the secret or magic key.
Yeah, I think the magic key would be the item I'm looking for the most. Or with the cost of fairy, maybe even just a jar. It's an interesting play by Kingdahl. For somebody who doesn't have a glove.
Opting to go for that key. And now he's trapped. He has to die. Or get damage boost onto that ledge.
Yeah, he
just barely enough to cast fairy to escape.
Yep.
Very lucky there.
So you have to question, was
he
it
is
really
on the
worth
correct
it?
route to find the item.
Was that key even worth it for him since he wasted a fairy cast to get it? Meanwhile, Eon just making us dizzy coming in and out of all these caves here.
Kingdahl is a few rooms away from finding the glove. He'll be pleasantly surprised to find it. But I'm sure he's expecting to find the raft.
Yeah, I'm very much so sure that he's looking exactly for the raft. Little does he know that he's gonna have to turn around and go straight to 2 with that glove to get the hammer to find where else to go after that. As far as we know, the raft is going to be underneath the spectacle rock anyway, so... So Kingdahl takes Magic 4 here, and Fairy remains 6
And Ewan has found the boulder, and a bunch of new caves check for the hammer cave while she's here.
So here's the raft. Do you keep looking, or do you LP?
I'd look for a few more caves. If hammer cave's here, I'll go for the item. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm not gonna jump in any more caves than I have to.
That's a fair point, yeah. There's so much more to find. We'll see what she decides to do here.
So, Eon has not seen what fire does, so she does not know if that could be thunder or reflect, I believe.
Or spell. They could also be looking for that, or wanting that for whatever's in New Kasuto. He's got these 2
If
caves.
it's not one of these 2 caves, I'm expecting Eon to reset here.
Yeah.
But we will see. Lucky found the hammer cave, so...
And prepped up that
We'll see
fire
what's
spell.
inside. It will probably be something like a heart.
Yeah, she prepped her fire. We'll see if she casts it to figure out what it's paired with. Kingdahl on the other side, I don't know if he found that, the glove block room. His first time through, but see if he makes his way back
He
there.
spent a lot of time in Palace too, so we should know where it is. It's not hard to go left twice.
And Eon here, about to pick up the item, which
You
is...
read the dungeon wrong, ran back right to the boss room instead, a mistake.
And Eon finds a jar in Death Mountain. Another magic container, so... Not the worst thing in the
Well,
world.
that's always helpful for getting an item in Ukasudo.
Yeah, and with the cost of ferry, it's not the worst thing. But she's off to the east now. Oops. We're greeted with the Valley of Death right here. First get here.
Now, going straight into the Valley of Death to find the palace there wouldn't usually be my first choice, but it could pay off if it's a Palace 1 right now.
Yeah, she looked quite proficient at fairy feet, so being able to up A once you get through here in the palace, and then up Aing your way back to start afterwards is not a huge time loss. Except if it's Palace 4 and you don't have Reflect. Kingdahl's made his way down the correct path now. Opts to manipulate an encounter skip instead of fairing feeding again, with the stone blue spiders in her way.
Yeah, those stone blue spiders are not fun to fight.
Yeah, it's always a great surprise when you run into one of these stone enemies here in the east. Since they can be anybody.
Yeah, Eon does have the child, so Eon will cast that in for the next spell. If it is Reflect, I assume that Eon will go right back to Palace 4.
Opts to get the upstab. While Kingdahl finds his hammer. So, the hammer was required. Just to recap for anybody who's joining us here about 45 minutes into the race, the glove was buried in Palace 5, the hammer is buried in Palace 2, and the raft is buried under Spectacle Rock. Meanwhile, they were giving a fairy spell that's 60 magic.
It's not the funnest seed to go through to find all these items.
No.
40 minutes just to get over to the east is kind of a daunting run,
Yeah,
to say the least.
But is granted the thunder spell. A castable
One of the
thunder.
required spells in order to beat the game. And has enough magic to cast thunder.
And we find Palace 1. Kingdahl's about to find his medicine, water of life.
Now, even though Palace 1 is the shortest palace, I probably wouldn't be looking for items right now. I would just continue on with trying to beat the bosses and continuing, knowing that my chances of getting the Reflect spell are pretty high without having to find the last spell item.
Yeah, you have a 3 and 4 chance right now to find it for free. And that's assuming that fire is not paired with Reflect. I haven't seen it cast yet.
However, Eon is rewarded with an early boss for going left. We'll see if Eon jumps right back into the palace to look for the item or continues on.
Yeah, I think at this point, me personally, I'd head off to the towns, try to find Reflect. You're not really looking for any more items.
I'm not sure how comfortable Eon is for playing at low levels, but Eon's completed, I believe, 2 palaces now?
Yes, 1 and 2. And meanwhile, did Kingdahl place the gem in 5? Or did he just take out the boss?
No, Kingdahl opted not to place the gem in 5, but it is only 1 room to the right, so we can place that later to get a more expensive level, but having to come back there is also a bit of a pain.
Yeah, well, he needs to come back there for the Great Palace, so... I think 5 and Great Palace were adjacent to each other, so it's not the worst thing in the world to get a free level on your way to the Great Palace.
Yeah. But usually that extra magic level or life level while early on in the game may prove more useful over the long run.
Yep.
Seeing as Kingdahl has already taken Magic 4 and Life 5, he's not trying to hold out for an overflow of experience.
He might be one of the mindset of take it all. Eon did jump back in looking for the item, and she's found it. We'll see what it is.
Probably not too happy to find the plunger. I mean the flute.
On one
Easily
side,
mistaken.
On one side, she's no longer needs any more. She no longer needs any more items for exploration. Everything's open to her with the boots and the flute. But I would have preferred the key if I was looking for an item. Or a jar so that lady's not who she is. So Kingdahl came in here an interesting way. It looks like he came across the Hammer Cave before even finding the rock.
So he's gonna have to back out and check the remainder of... It shouldn't take him very long, it's just over to the left of where he is.
Yeah, he saw it at the last moment when he entered that cave.
However, he is quite a bit behind right now, about 5, let's see, EnchantressofNumbers entered the East around the 40-minute mark, so about 8 minutes behind.
Yeah, he's still got to swing by Mito and pick up the... Bouncing on the raft. Pick up the... Thunder spell.
So it could be upwards of 10... Bouncing on the raft, yeah. Could be about 10 minutes behind by the time he gets over there.
And it looks like he's deciding to place the gem in 5 now. I did miss what item Eon got from the tower. Sorry, trying to keep it as viewer-friendly as I can.
I'm watching 2 streams at once here. I'm going almost a bit cross-eyed, but it was not a magic jar or a life or a heart container. I'll tell you that.
It was an extra life. Okay. Found the little creepy doll on the ground.
So, strange that Eon jumped back into Palace 1 to look for the item, but skipped the item cave, which was only 2 rooms long right there.
Yes.
So, unless Eon did pick up the... What spell did Eon pick up?
Spell. Unless it was fire that's connected to spell, but I believe she got the spell from Spell Town.
So an easy way to check if this is Palace 3 or 6 right away is to strike that statue right to the left of the elevator, just as Eon just did. If nothing falls out, it's Palace 6.
Yeah, and the amount of enemies in this room is
However,
also...
if a jar or an item falls out, it is Palace 3.
Yeah, the amount of enemies that were in this room also let you know that Palace 6, all large enemies.
Item room right away in Palace 6. We'll see how EON's reroll fight goes. I don't think that shield is going to save her from a hit.
No, zombie strats going on here.
You just want the different tunic color.
So Kingdahl also going for the fairy feet. Unfortunate for him, once he gets into Palace 4, which he cannot beat, he's going to have to up A or farm out some experience because he decided to hold on to what he had. Oh, but he instead decides to venture back out, down 1 life. So now he's down to
This jump that Ewan's doing can be a bit tricky to get up the momentum to jump high enough to make that ledge.
And Life 4 is not playing well with her in this dungeon either. These blue iron knuckles are just wreaking havoc. Oh, fire
and we
is...
now learn, well, if we missed it before, that fire is jump.
Yeah. Kingdahl is going for that encounter skip instead of fairy feeding because he's so low on magic. He went by Mito and got thunder. Sorry, I need to mark that. Now he's about to pick up his fire spell. Oh, that's bad news for...
Ewan missed the fairy room drop.
Yeah,
it is possible to just fall straight into there, but the difficulty with doing Palace 6 with only level 3 magic and an expensive fairy is that you can only cast it once.
And the way the drops are set up looks like it's a difficult drop to get back to, so hopefully that fairy shoot's not the way to Barba.
Usually I'll just take a magic 4 in this palace. Usually players are worried about their experience overflow, but Barba tends to give 700 to 1000 experience, which should almost always put you over the limit. So taking magic 4 in this palace is a pretty good idea most of the time, I find. And it does make your fairy spells cheaper and it's good for a refill when you need it.
Yeah, especially when there's 2 rooms that potentially could require fairy, as well as all the doors they're going through. Now with jump and upstab, she could go get some of these keys that are just laying around. Save her some of these fairy casts. Since we're playing with the extra key settings, and Palace 6 has a lot of P bags that lay around in it. Good use of the fairy cast while grabbing the jar to get a free refill. Meanwhile, Kingdahl making his way into Horsehead battle. And makes quick work of it with the attack 5. And Eon is taking these extra keys.
Well, why not? You still got a bunch of palaces left to complete, so save you a few fairy spells.
Yeah, especially with Palace 4. I believe that one has a lot of doors that you still gotta go
You're
through.
also opting to choose to go back and look for the item in Palace 1. It's not going to help him close the gap, but...
So here's the fairy chute. And she's ready for it.
And it was not a required fall, so the required fall was through the room where with the Blue Knight and the statue with the jar. That led down to another elevator where EnchantressofNumbers would want to go, and this fall directly links there.
Yeah.
And Kingdahl will be amused to find the plunger, to say the least.
So that's unfortunate. She had a chance to take a magic level there and decided not to. And ran out of keys immediately. But gets this jar from the drop of the Canadian hole room, and it's going to go right back to that right turn.
Now this pathway should lead to a Rebo fight and Barba, or at least one of them.
I think both at this point.
But first we get our fun room of Palace 6, everyone's favorite room in the game.
Eon needs to be
Now,
careful.
these
I think she's
blue
running low on
flying
life.
horse heads spawn at certain locations on the screen, so you have to be careful of where you're stepping.
So, I haven't seen the fairy room either. First we have a Rebo.
Yes, the lava room. It's usually leading to the left dead end. It could, at this point, or it could be after Rebo here. But
Yeah. She doesn't have enough magic for it, and I don't know what her life count is at.
And Kingdahl picks up his little dig.
Eon going for the bounce strats, but Rebo's not being nice necessarily. And here's Barba. So no fairy, that's good.
Take a bit of a beating to kill. We'll see how much health he has here.
Yeah, attack 4 with no life, and
Not even one bar drop there.
can't cast jump. This is going to be a long battle for her.
Bit of a slugfest.
Still haven't budged that health meter. Kingdahl makes his way over to Maze Island. got these players both in the exact same palace now, with the exact same items and the exact same spells.
However, Kingdahl does have the edge on levels, so that could prove into effect later into the race, so we'll see if he can close the gap a bit here. That game over did cost EON a bit of time. I still saw 1 life left for EON, so one more chance. Which gives Kingdahl a bit of a chance to catch up here.
Yeah, he's got to take the right place though. The right route. But, I mean, honestly, since Kingdahl has also beaten Guma, I have to give him somewhat of an advantage here, even above his attack level being higher.
EON will probably leave Palace 5 Guma until last, so it shouldn't take too much time, and it will be right on the way to Great Palace.
Yeah, do you know if she stepped in there and saw where his room was, even?
No, she didn't take the first right at the beginning of the dungeon. She went down the elevator first.
Okay, but one would have to assume that she's going to go head right as soon as she steps in there anyway.
Yeah, she'll go right the first time that she goes in there. There's almost no reason not to.
Yeah, you can see Eon's much more comfortable fighting Barbara with the jump spell than she was without it.
Yeah, just don't fall into the lava during the last strike. You'll go right through him.
Yeah, has no recoil.
It's happened to almost everybody, I believe.
So Kingdahl takes an intentional death to get the magic to cast Fairy. Very heavy usage of the Fairy spell this race. And a very expensive Fairy spell on top of that.
How much is Fairy for Kingdahl right now at Magic 5?
Still
we'll
48.
see next time he opens the menu.
Yeah, it's 48. He doesn't get more than 1 cast.
No, he gets 2 casts. That's 90, because he has 96 magic right now, right?
Oh, I missed him picking up the other jar in Death Mountain. Yeah, that's my fault.
So that will significantly help him not suiciding as much.
So we'll see what happens here. This is where Eon lost a lot of time.
We'll see if he falls down, or...
Wow, what a magic level! So Kingdahl takes magic 6, and Fairy drops down to 27. That's huge for these guys.
He's not going to have any difficulty getting through palaces now.
No, yeah, and he's not going to have to look for extra keys or go anywhere out of his way. All he has to do is find that correct path to get to Barba.
We'll see what spell Ewan gets here. Oh, not the spell she was looking for.
Yeah, more fire.
Another jump.
Saying the same things with different words.
So Leon passes up both item caves, but I guess we have this last town here to find out what the last spell is before knowing if she needs to pick up the trophy, right?
Yeah, she needs to see if this is Reflect. Otherwise, we're going to have some more item hunting going on. They haven't gotten anything from Maze Island or the P-Bag Caves, which are both pretty free.
So Leon should be in go mode right now, having finally gotten Reflect. So that's going to ease some reflexes and allow him to quickly go through the rest of the game.
Yeah, now you gotta go find Palace 3. Because we know 4 is in the Valley of Death. And we very well could need that flute right there. So, not a terrible thing for these runners if it does come down to that. But they both dove back into 1 to find that flute. I think Kingdahl's 2 rooms away from Barba now.
Making her way back to Palace 4 in Death Valley.
So there's Palace 3.
So we go into Palace 3 first, and we'll go into, I believe, 4 next.
Yeah, and then up A and go to 5.
The 5 behind.
This is good route.
Yeah, right on go mode. Kingdahl has to be... Well, Kingdahl is 1 room away from... Well, he is close to Barba.
Yeah, but he's on his last life, so it was a very long Palace 6. If he dies to either Rebo or Barba here, he's gonna have quite a time loss. Otherwise, we're going to be very close to the end of this race.
With shield and he'll be able to cast shield and jump. So he'll be able to take 1 hit, and he shouldn't have to hit Barba as many times with attack 5.
He opts just for the shield spell instead of the jump. Some people are much more comfortable without the jump. Yeah, he's having a much easier time than Eon did because of this attack level. Eon nopes out of the item room. That should tell everybody we're definitely in go
I've
mode.
had enough of looking for items for the rest of this race.
So it looks like Kingdahl now has attack 6. And he's also going to explore Maze Island a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't waste too much time here. While Eon is placing the gem in Palace 5. Or Palace 3.
Yeah, this is why it's so helpful to look for at least the towns before you look for the items here, because you want to know whether you actually need to look for the items, but he was fortunate and lucky to find both the drops for the items pretty early.
Yeah, unfortunately no trophy for him, but he does get a little bit of a buff in both his magic and health, so...
You went 1 full palace ahead, even though it is one of the shortest palaces, a Palace 3. Kingdahl is still pressed for time, still having to pick up the reflect spell in the town ahead.
Yeah, he needs to find the spell, the towns. He's probably going to come across the, what was the first town? The Nibiru that had jump? So that's a time sink to try to get it from there first. Or am I remembering incorrectly and it was, Kasudo that had jump? No, it was
new Kasudo, or you mean old Kasudo?
Yeah, old Kasudo.
We'll find out right here.
Eon decides not to risk it with the fairy feet and just tanks the damage going through the encounter instead. Yeah, this was jump in Naburu, so some time waste here.
Depending on how this Palace 4 treats EON, there could only be about 15 more minutes before the end of this race, so we'll see how quickly EON is able to complete this Palace, get through Palace 5, and then get to the Great Palace.
Yeah, a sub 130 with
Should only be
the blocks they had.
Each one. Right.
This is not a bad time.
I could definitely see under 130 for EON. We'll see about Kingdahl here as he picks up the Reflex spell.
Yeah, Eon in full-on go mode. Just any item room just completely turns around. A magic jar would help her immensely here, but
now, one of the issues that EON will face is that EON is probably going to take attack 7 here, which will leave the overflow for Palace 5, but because Buma is at the entrance of Palace 5, EON will have to look for enemies and grind out a few extra under experience.
yeah, it doesn't look like she's gonna have much issues with it though because of all these big enemies.
No, I mean after this Palace, she'll likely, instead of overflowing her levels here, she'll save it for Palace 5, because usually you get a lot of experience going through Palace 5.
Yeah, I got you.
But if Buma's right at the start of Palace 5, she'll have to backtrack a bit through the Palace looking for enemies to kill.
Yeah, I'd hope at that point that you eat the gem. I mean, you can't waste too much time, as beneficial as these levels would be.
But you pick up about 3 life levels and 2 or 3 magic levels doing that, which could save you a game over, so there's that weighing on your mind too.
Yeah, I'm with Error on this one.
We'll see how EON approaches the issue.
I'm with Error that attack 6 is good enough. You're going to save a handful of hits on Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I agree that attack 6 is good enough, but we'll see whether EON takes the attack 7 or pushes into her life and magic stats.
Yeah. Yeah, prepping for that, the big payoff here. Meanwhile, Kingdahl is here in Palace 3 now. Yeah, as fast as 5 was though, we still have anybody's game whenever we get into the Great Palace.
Now, EON does find the boss room of Palace 4, so she will be very quickly on her way.
I'd take that intentional death to get the magic level refill, or the magic refill to fight Karok. I believe Kingdahl's just a couple rooms away from his boss as well. So it really comes down to how fast can Kingdahl make his way through 4 to find Karok. And if Eon's going to grind.
And we'll see if EON takes attack 7 or pulls it into her life and magic stats. Yep, instantly takes the life then.
Yeah, I have little doubt that she's going to go
So
into
she'll be
Great
happy
Palace.
to find Guma right away at the entrance. Right.
Yeah, she's going to go 666, almost definitely.
Now grinding won't even be an issue.
Especially with
She's gonna take the first level she gets anyways.
her fairy spell just got greatly reduced, or will get greatly reduced here. This is the jump when it went from 48 to 27. Now, I don't know if Kingdahl knows where Palace 3 is, but he up A'd, so we'll see if he goes straight into 4 first. Oh, sorry, he just beat 3, didn't he? Yeah.
No, he just finished 3, so yeah, he's resetting to go right back to 4, which is right at the entrance of the east.
Yeah. So again, it comes down to how fast can he get through Palace 4, and how lost could Neon
It wasn't
get.
the quickest Palace 4, it did take you about 5 minutes to go through it.
Yeah, she hit 3 of the 4 dead ends. 3 of the 3 dead ends? Oh, I guess magic, or the
item is a dead end or not.
Yeah, I was counting it apparently. I guess there's 3 lava pits. Neon making quick work of Guma. Probably making a face about that 200 experience.
Alright, our Eon's Great Palace levels will be 666. Not evil in the slightest. So Great Palace could be a bit trolly, but is there enough difficulty to keep for a Kingdahl to catch up? And it's looking unlikely, but we will find out. She does have about a 5-minute lead here, or maybe a 4-minute lead.
So, sure enough, first thing that we get is a drop here in the Great Palace, so... Yeah, this could be the 4 minutes right here.
Take it right away. Take it. You want to see as close so you can eliminate them and not have to worry about them later.
Yeah, I think this is a decent move on her part to up A and get that life back. Even if she's going to go the exact same route. It sucks to lose your life in the very first room, and it can be a very long Grand Palace.
Well, it is short Great Palace on these Swiss seeds right now, only about 28 out of the 56 rooms. So it is about half the size, but it's still sizable enough.
I think what Dig said, I could be wrong, but I think he says it's a minimum of 28 rooms, and then it can make up whatever it needs to complete itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're still looking at much shorter than a 50, but...
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Palace 4 very closely. Do you happen to know how far he is from Rock?
If Kingdahl's on the right route right now?
Yeah.
I did not really see the route that EON took through the palace, but I believe it was up from an elevator, so this could be it. Depends, I believe the first one led to a dead end at the bottom here, and then the next one led to the boss room.
Gotta also take that intentional death to refill. So Eon started over and opted to go right again.
Now we have seen players get confused and they can end up losing about 10 minutes if they take the wrong path through Great Palace and end up missing a fairly obvious route that they should have taken. But it's seeming very linear and direct right now. There hasn't been a lot of choices for EON to take.
Alright, so here comes Kingdahl going for a grind. He's about 25 away from a level.
His levels are high enough that he should have just taken that life 6 and gone for it.
Yeah, instead
Like,
he's going to get 677.
He might get 2 levels out of this.
Oh, she looped
Yeah,
all the way
right
back
now
to the start.
seconds are really gonna count, so... For him at least.
Kingdahl with the
You want going
update
straight
save.
down from the Jackamus room. Interesting.
Yeah, I think she went right already and looped around, and Chad is saying that she looped around back to the very start of the palace. So that means the drop there will do a full loop. And I don't know if they'll save any time if Kingdahl decides to go left first.
Kingdahl goes straight down, yeah.
So we'll see if this advantage of Eon being in Great Palace first pays off. Still haven't seen a Thunderbird, and
Yeah, this is EON's race to lose right now. So EON does not want to mess up this.
so here's the Thunderbird sighting.
But EON does find the Thunderbird.
Yeah, and just got a full magic refill too, so that's good. Just enough.
We haven't seen all the drop rooms, so there may be more to the palace ahead and more drops.
So it looks like Kingdahl feels like he's behind, and he's going left first.
We'll see how she...
And right into the Jackamus room.
Wow.
So that's a great shortcut, and it really is going to come down to these battles.
That is huge. If he goes down here, right.
Yeah, he's rooms away from Eon now. That was a huge time save.
About 5 minutes. Or maybe about 4, but still, it's...
Now, I think Eon went down, though, and he's going up, so he might be going the wrong way completely. And right into a fun room at that. Now, Eon's down to her last life.
Eon is on the last life. Eon should have just continued on to the next room there. It's not worth risking any extra seconds in this bubble room.
Kingdahl comes to a dead end, which will turn him around, go down the elevator, and take him into Thunderbird. I think Eon's just a few rooms away from Dark Link.
At least he did not update after seeing that.
Oh, that is rough for him. Hopefully he goes back left.
He might not actually. He might just go for the first right, but we will see.
Yeah, this is...
He's seen a bit of the left route already, so...
So Eon accidentally takes a game over there in that theater room, which, by my estimation, is not far from Dark Link, unless there's a left and then a drop.
Yeah, even though Kingdahl might have been a life behind, he still could have probably gotten through the rest of the Great Palace with just one extra life. Now the advantage is back in Eon's hands again. And I don't suspect Eon will take another game over before getting through here.
Yeah, no, she knows basically the right path. The only question I've had is there's an elevator down that can go left. Right after Thunderbird.
Have we seen all 4 drops, or how many drops have we seen in the palace so far?
Just 2. I'm guessing on the 2. I can't remember if there was a second one.
Right, because I only remember seeing the drop at the beginning of the palace. Kingdahl does find the 1-up room, and is forced to turn back around.
And he's right back into the Jackamus room. He realizes he needs to go down. And let's see if he goes down in the next elevator, too.
He went progressing through a bullet house screen here, where anything can kill you. So when it was left at the elevator, he will have to...
So, Kingdahl's about a room or 2 away from Thunderbird. It might even be the very next room. Eon definitely went the wrong way there, right into a dead end. And so it is the left after Thunderbird. That will probably lead to the L-shaped drops, the one that goes top to bottom. Falls into itself sometimes, into one of the L-shaped rooms, like before Thunderbird and Vanilla.
Right. On to her last life here. Yeah. So hopefully she doesn't make any more mistakes. This is the point of the race where she can't afford anything else right now.
Kingdahl with just enough magic to cast both shield and fire, which is jump. Still taking some hits. He does have some extra lives, especially since he picked up that 1-up, and he didn't up A since.
Now, Dark Link likes to be at the end of these seed rooms here, so we'll see if he's at the other side of this. What are you thinking?
There's a chance, yeah. He does like to sneak over here, but I
have to explore.
I'm still feeling the left drop.
Yeah.
Or
Does Eon take this drop? No, does not take the signature name drop yet. So here's the
50-50
tough one. Which one do you choose? So Kingdahl might just go straight right if he gets there, but Eon takes the EON drop.
I don't think we've seen this room.
And now I'm not sure where EON is in the palace.
Yeah, this might be all new. This is indeed new. Here's another one of those C rooms.
Now, Ewan could have gone left from that room where she fell down, but she will have to go back through the dungeon then and take the other drop to the right. Which gives Kingdahl another chance now to take this race back into his hands. But he still has to stay alive.
Yeah, I think he still has at least one extra life. This is quite the troll of a Grand Palace, though. So he's making the correct left here.
It's unfortunate for Eowyn. Not casting Fairy quick enough.
And barely gets it that time. So here comes Kingdahl with the same decision that Eon just had. Which drop do you take? We will see. And he decides to also do the Eon drop.
Wow, really? Like, you've got a 50-50, you might as well just take the closest drop to you, which was to the right, but maybe he saw that blue, fucker and decided that he didn't want to deal with that guy falling down on you. So
Yeah,
that's why he went back left.
I think that's what it came down to. So Eon's 2 or so rooms away from that decision again. We'll see if she drops down and goes left, or decides to go right. We haven't seen that drop room.
Gonna go right, I believe.
Yeah, we haven't seen that drop room that Kingdahl was just in. Like, we haven't seen people drop into it, and we haven't seen the other side where you drop from. Or drop. Yeah, drop from. But Kingdahl decides to backtrack.
Often go left here.
Yeah. So this could be very interesting. And there's the drop that I was talking about just now.
We've already seen... there's no left dead end. We've already seen the...
Yeah, there's nothing but drops left.
Room, so.
And I think this was his decision, and this is going to be Dark Link.
Which, actually, there's a pretty high chance that this room right here will lead to Dark Link.
Yeah. And Eon's going to fall into that double L-shaped room.
Eon wishing that he had not reset when he did, instead of could have backtracked to the left.
Yep. And we'll see how Kingdahl does. He is on his last life, and low on magic, but he does take care of business. Wow.
GG for Kingdahl.
The great
Congratulations on
equalizer.
catching up and closing the distance in that race.
Yeah.
Very well played.
And here comes Eon right behind. It's going to be minutes difference at most.
Disappointed. Really disappointed.
Yeah, it really came down to the 50-50 drop there.
This whole race, was really far with the exploration, but Kingdahl's levels allowed him to close the gap.
Yeah, maybe that extra life level really did pay off. He took a couple less game overs there in the Great Palace.
Well, no, it's more like the magic levels that Kingdahl was taking early, running up to Magic 5 and Magic 6 so we can cast Fairy more. EON did take the game over in Palace 6.
Yeah, that cheap fairy
with magic shortages.
Cheap fairy really paid off in that Magic 6 early. I'm gonna see if either one of them wants to come in for a post-race interview. Meanwhile, let's check out the schedule, see what's coming up today. I know we have quite a loaded schedule.
I do have a race coming up with Buzz Thunder in an hour, but I still have time to join you with this interview.
Do you know what channels it's going to be on? Your race with Buzz? If not, I'm one click away from pulling up the schedule, and I'm sorry for all the drop frames, everybody. I get this loaded up. Yes, how are you?
When?
This is Eon, Enchantress of Numbers.
Yeah. Greetings, Eon. How are you?
Well, that, Great Palace sure was something.
Yeah,
You must not have been happy, too.
It came down to drops.
I feel like I took every wrong turn, so...
I think you full cleared.
Yeah, you entered the Great Palace about 5 minutes ahead of Kingdahl, who was just finishing his last palace, Palace 4 at the time, as
Gotcha.
You were taking some of the drops in there.
Right, yeah, and I took every single wrong turn and loop, and I was just waiting for him the entire time I was in there, lost, to see the dot done, so... congrats, Kingdahl.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Kingdahl's going to join us for a.
For the majority of the race, Enchantress of Numbers, you seem to value exploration ahead, and you were about 5-10 minutes ahead of Kingdahl for the majority of the race. Kingdahl spent a lot of his time fighting and killing everything that he saw, which was putting him a bit behind in the race, but it was giving him a bit higher in levels, while you were a bit lower in your levels, like around Attack 4 and Magic 3.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, I've done in vanilla Attack 1 playthroughs and stuff, so I'm comfortable with pretty much any levels. So I'd rather find the stuff that I need and then start clearing palaces, so...
Yeah, around Palace 6 you were about 10 minutes ahead, and then you took that unfortunate game over there. Yeah, you were low on, because your expensive fairy spell was costing you extra lives.
Right. But oh well. I think
it was a very exciting race.
That's
how it closed out.
Yeah.
Now, what were you feeling at the start of the race?
What's that?
So at the start of the race, when you had not found the raft yet, and you were going into Palace 2 and 5, what were you thinking going into there?
I was thinking, well, I don't really want to go into Death Mountain, and I don't have the hammer yet, so I'm really hoping I find the raft. So,
and you found inside Palace.
Yeah, in Palace 5, I think it was.
Find the glove.
Yeah, in Glove, and Palace 2 had the hammer, so I don't think it was a bad choice to duck into those, but I did ultimately have to find the... go into Death Mountain for the raft, so... But then once I got the raft and opened up the East Continent exploration, it was just a matter of finding all the spells that I needed at that point, so...
You went back looking for items like in Palace 1, and that we worried that you wouldn't get the Reflect spell from the remaining 3-4 towns you had left.
Yeah, I did a seed last night and didn't get the item out of P1, which ended up being required to get the Reflect spell. So I figured since Palace 1 was so small, it was worth it to go back and check, so...
Because we noticed that you skipped both item caves, even though you found them on the east, and you didn't look for the maze tile items, but I think at that point you were just figuring that you'd find the last town and find out if it would give you the spell or not.
Right.
Kingdahl opted to go through the caves and grab the items on Maze Island.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot else to say about the seed. I think I played really well up until Great Palace.
Yeah, you had a lead, and then the Great Palace, that loop at the beginning, really caught him up because he went left immediately.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But then he game over but came back around. So yeah, I mean it was a lot of back and forth here in the Great Palace.
The Great Palace. We were like, oh, Enchantress ahead. Oh, Kingdahl's going left. He's ahead now. And then he died, so you were back ahead. And then it came down to, I think, the last time you up-A'd after reaching that one dead end instead of backtracking to the left. That was enough time for him to catch up and finish the race in time.
Gotcha. Well, I'll be excited to go back and rewatch the video of this because. It sounds like a good race.
One final thing, what made you decide to fall through the EON room instead of the room on the right your first time through? When you had both of those rooms to choose from,
I figured there were 2 drop rooms. I had to take the Eon drop just because it's named after me, so...
Now, we were wondering if you turned back because you saw the blue chicken knight and were worried of him, or if you were just taking the drop because it was the EON drop.
Yeah, just because of that, so...
Because Kingdahl also did turn left and go back and take the EON drop first, so we were wondering if he was just going to go take the right drop immediately. If he had taken the right drop immediately, then he would have been behind you.
Right, but then he would have been going towards the left to find the appropriate drop, so he might have... that might have been a faster move to make.
Yeah, he also went and found the 1-up, so he knew there was no more left dead ends.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thanks for the race.
There's still going to be...
Go ahead, Colin.
We're going to see more of you, EON, in this tournament, hopefully, and we are excited to see more.
Yeah, thanks for the restream and the commentary, and thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, you're not eliminated here. There's so much left.
Yeah.